Hey, what's up everybody? This is part 2 of programming with the Sega Dreamcast. In part 1, I set up chaos on my Linux VM following the Getting Started with Dreamcast development article over at the Dreamcast wiki, and to quote a bit from there, chaos is an open source development library and pseudo operating system for the Dreamcast console. It is the best documented and most widely used development kit in the homebrew community. Now in preparation for part 2, I went out and made a few purchases. The first thing I bought, as you can see, is a new Dreamcast, but there ended up being some issues with it. I think it's manufactured after the cutoff date for being able to play backups. I also bought a disc writer and some blank discs, but unfortunately they turned out to be CDRWs instead of CDRs. It's been a while since I've burned a Dreamcast disc, so I kind of forgot about that requirement. But on the positive side of things, everything else went fairly well, and yeah, all in all, it always feels kind of good bringing out the Dreamcast and even just holding the controller and playing around with it. Okay, so my goal up to this point was to burn one of the example programs included with Chaos onto a disk and play it on the Dreamcast. But in order to do that, I had to clone the command line tool for generating CDI images from Git and use Meson to set it up. Also, if anybody's unfamiliar with programming, Git is a version control system that helps you maintain and work on code. Now, for curiosity's sake, and because we're converting the example program into a CDI from ELF format, I Googled it and found a bit of info. Looks like it was chosen as the standard binary file format for Unix in 1999 and stands for executable and linkable format. Let's go ahead and clone that repository from Git. Alright, now after cloning the repository and taking a peek at its README, it states that MakeDCDisk is a command line tool to generate Dreamcast bootable CDI image files for homebrew games. This intends to be a one-stop shop for creating Dreamcast disk juggler images, doing what Scramble, MakeIP, ObjCopy, and CDI for DC do currently, but with additional features like automatic disk padding and CDDA audio tracks. Moment of truth. Yeah, so this is where I realized that I had bought the wrong kind of media. I bought CDRW instead of CDR. And before that, I had flip-flopped between my new Dreamcast and my old one, and also realized that the new one that I bought was manufactured after a certain date. I think it's like somewhere around October of 2000, so it doesn't even play backups. And when I brought out my old one, the Sega Sports Black Dreamcast, it played the Codebreaker backup that I had backed up just fine. So, all in all, I think I'm gonna have to go ahead and give this a second shot and see if I can get a burned disc playing again. But I did get it running on an emulator, so I've got some hope there.